there, level 3. It's been a while. We are now on Catullus. I'm going to start with the packet that says Catullus 50, 5, 48, 93, 94, 114, 42, 37, and 69. This first video is just going to be a brief explanation of some things, and then I'll do 50 for you. And then some of them will be combined and some of them will not. Okay. And I'll just put that in the notes. First of all, I have not gotten any feedback from people as to whether or not they wanted it read as it was meant or with some sort of 21st century censorship and things like that. It's kind of irrelevant for number 50, as well as for number 5, 48. But when we get to 98, 90, or 93 and 94, that's going to be one of those where I tell you that you should probably put your earbuds in. 114 is fine. 42 has some harsh language, but it's fun. 37, you absolutely want your earbuds in, and you need to let me know where you want me to go with that. And 69 is, it's on the fence. So, it's more, well, it's not suggestive. It's pretty clear, but there's nothing lascivious. Well, can't even say that. 69 is not as dirty as 37 is. 37 might be one of the dirtiest. But hey, it could be 12. All right, so here we go. Catullus 50. Remember, Catullus is a poet. He dies by 30. He was such a good wordsmith that one day he got himself banished from Rome by Julius Caesar, and by that night he was sitting at his dinner table. Like, that's how good this guy is. So, Catullus 50. Yesterday, Licinius, on a day of leisure we played a lot in my little books, as it had been agreed upon, in parentheses by us, to be naughty, writing little verses between each of us, or back and forth. It, the writing, was playing in this meter and in that meter, giving and taking through wine and humor. And I left, afire by your charm and your wit, Licinius, so that food would not nourish miserable me, and sleep would not cover my little eyes in rest. But I was tossed and turned, untamed in the whole bed by an inspired frenzy, longing to see the light, so that I may speak with you, and at the same time be with you. But later, my limbs lay in my little bed, tired, half dead from their laborings. I made this, my good fellow, a poem for you, from which you may inspect my sadness. Now you beware of being daring and spitting on our prayers. We beg you, dearest, that so that Nemesis does not require your punishment from you. She is a vicious goddess. Take care not to annoy her. So some things to talk about with that. There is a part in there about I left afire by your wit and your charm. So he's having a poetry writing session with his buddy, but it's not just his buddy. He leaves so much so that he's unable to eat, unable to sleep, can't stop thinking about him. And he tossed and turned. I said restless originally, but I like the idea of being untamed in the whole bed by, and here I said inspired frenzy, but vehement desire works. And then his limbs lay in the little bed, tired and half dead from their laborings. Now it's up to you if you want that to be because he was tossing and turning all night, or because he is working in a more concentrated method. That's your choice. But then he decided, I can't get any sleep, or I'm done, so I'm going to write a poem. And then he switches into the first person plural, which is a common thing that poets did at the time. Partly because it helps fit the meter, and partly because we know that you're still talking just about, me. And then, yes, he says, don't spurn me, because Nemesis, man, she's a vicious goddess. So this is the first poem that I always like to hit y'all with Catullus, because It gets it out in the open right away that he did not care the sex of the person that he was with. He cared much more the passion that they would inspire. And in this case, it was Licinius. Don't forget to look at the notes, okay? So get out your red pen. I will share with you, let me find one of my better ones that's a good example, where you take a look at the Latin that you've done, or your translation that you've done, and you're like, how am I any good at this at all? Because afterwards it looks like somebody just shook a red pen all over it. Oh, here's a good page. This is from an Ovid poem, but yes. And that's the guy who's teaching you, right? So that's normal. So don't feel bad if you're having to rewrite everything. That's why I say use pens, so you can see your growth. This is a brand new skill. If we were in class, we would go over it bit by bit by bit. As it stands, still send them to me, and I'll put little suggestions and stuff, but also take a look at what you're doing and listen to these. All right, I'm going to hit the button now.